name is Shalicia Lyde, and this is my presentation on my case study. My 10-year-old cousin has issues with expressing himself. He lashes out on family. His performance in school is not good due to behavioral issues and confidence. The development domain that relates to my 10-year-old cousin would be emotional and social development. Tevin is the youngest child in the family, but his older brothers is afraid of him. Tevin cruelly bites, hits, and kicks his 11-year-old brother and 13-year-old brother. When my aunt attempts to discipline him, Tevin would push my aunt and then would do the exact opposite of what she told him to do. He said things like, I don't love you anymore, and you're not the boss of me. I don't want to live anymore, which is very tragic for my family to hear. However, I believe that my aunt's favoritism towards Tevin's older brothers has a lot to do with his actions and ultimately affects his self esteem. According to chapter 16 on page 603, it states that teenagers whose parents are critical and insulting tend to have highly unstable and generally low self esteem. Feedback that is negative, inconsistent, or not contingent on performance triggers, at best, uncertainty about the self's capacity and, at worst, a sense of being incompetent and unloved. Although I know my aunt loves my little cousin Tevin dearly, I have observed a sense of insecurity and rejection from him. He feels that his mother treats his older siblings better than him, and this causes him to lash out. Chapter 16, page 605, also states that teenagers' identity development is enhanced when their families serve as a secure base from which they can confidently move out into the wider world. Next, I decided to observe Tevin in the classroom. This was a 3-day process. The first day consisted of observing his performance academically. The second day consisted of his performance socially. And the third day consisted of trying to understand why he was allowing other kids to bully him. Day one of sitting in the back of Tevin's classroom, I observed that he had difficulty learning and would get frustrated easily. He said things like, I'm not smart like the other kids, and would tell the teacher that he hates her. However, instead of trying to encourage and uplift Tevin that he is capable of doing the work like the other children, his teacher decides to send him to in school suspension for 30 minutes. This instantly made me angry because she wasn't giving Tevin a fair chance to feel secure and succeed like the other children. Chapter 16, page 605, states that identity development and also depends on schools and communities that offer rich and varied opportunities for exploration. Supportive experiences include classrooms that promote high level thinking, teachers and counselors who encourage low SES and ethnic minority students to go to college, extracurricular and community activities that offer teenagers responsible roles consistent with their interests and talents. It was disturbing to observe that Tevin wasn't getting this foundation from his teacher. Because I have learned that although it takes Tevin some time to grasp certain concepts in school, he still performs well on exams, but not on his classwork. I feel that if Tevin's mom and teacher uplifted him more, then his self esteem would be higher because he would feel sure of himself and feel a sense of hope. Children need encouragement and motivation in order to promote self esteem and identity development. If not, they will be stuck comparing themselves with other children. Chapter 16, page 606, explains that if you engage in warm, open communication. It will provide both emotional support and freedom to explore values and goals. Next, initiate discussions that promote high level thinking at home and at school. This encourages rational, deliberate selection among competing beliefs and values. Day two of my observation at Tevin's school consisted of me observing the way he socialized with other children in his class. When it was lunchtime, I noticed that Tevin sat alone while the other kids sat together in groups and engaged in conversation. So I sat with Tevin and asked him, why would he rather sit alone? And his response was that he doesn't think that the other kids like him because he is not as smart as they are. This made my heart sink because I know that Tevin is intelligent and should be encouraged more in order to embrace his intelligence. As Tevin sat at the lunch table alone, I observed that he seemed more frustrated more than anything. At this point, I realized that my little cousin needed emotional support. Tevin needed to feel wanted and to feel that he is worthy to be successful in life. Most importantly, he needs the emotional support from his mother. According to page 620 in the book, parents who project warmth and acceptance promotes high self-esteem, identity exploration and achievement, pro-social behavior, and more positive parent-adolescent communication. Parents should monitor activity because this promotes high self-esteem and reduced likelihood of engaging in antisocial behavior. Most effective when parents have a cooperative relationship with the adolescents and modify their supervision to fit the young person's increasing competence. These are some of the tips that I have expressed to my aunt in order to help Tevin's sense of security and self identity. On the third and last day of my observation, I wanted to discover and understand why Tevin was allowing other children to bully him during recess. I was shocked because at home, Tevin is a bully to his older siblings. Although I don't condone bullying at all, I wanted to know why the roles changed and why wasn't he standing up for himself. Page 609 in the book states that while recognizing that others may have different thoughts and feelings, still find it difficult to consider two points of view in a moral dilemma. As a result, they overlook people's intentions. Instead, they focus on fear of authority and avoidance of punishment as reasons for behaving morally. What I gained from this is that Tevin is afraid to stand up for himself because his self esteem is low and he doesn't believe that he has the power to stand up to unfamiliar individuals. It's easy for him to bully his older siblings because those are the people that he is familiar with. He knows that they won't bully him back. According to page 605, adolescents who assume that absolute truth is always attainable tend to be foreclosed, whereas those who doubt that they will ever feel certain about anything are more often identity diffused. At this moment, I had concluded my observation of my 10-year-old cousin. I instantly knew that I had to come up with a plan in order to help Tevin. The first approach would be effective communication. I gave Tevin a journal in order to write his feelings and thoughts down. I told him that whenever he is feeling sad, frustrated, or mad, write your feelings down instead of lashing out on the people that he loves. Next, I reached out to my aunt and shared with her my observations about Tevin. She was shocked to learn that Tevin feels as though she favors Tevin's older siblings. But I expressed to her that she needs to be more encouraging towards Tevin and reassure him that he is loved and that he can do anything that he sets his mind to. I also encouraged her to establish firm control and consistent discipline because when accompanied by warm explanations, and verbal give and take promotes self reliant, responsible behavior. Firm control without explanations that clarify the legitimacy of parents, rules that can undermine self reliance and responsibility. Next was encouragement. I decided to sit down with Tevin myself and give him an intervention. I experienced I expressed to him that he has I expressed to him that he has his family's love and support. I also told him that he is very intelligent and that I am very proud of of his progress in school. I reassured him that he is special and that he can accomplish any goal that he chooses to set his mind to. It was important to also let him know that it is important to treat others the way that you want to be treated, especially his siblings. Page 635 states that prevention must start early and take place at multiple levels. Positive family relationships, authoritative parenting, high quality teaching in schools, well designed work study vocational educational programs, and communities with healthy economic and social conditions go a long way toward reducing adolescent antisocial acts. In conclusion, throughout this observational case study, I realized that children need emotional as well as mental support and encouragement in order to develop and maintain a high level of self esteem and the ability to socialize freely. My name is Shalicia Lai, and this was my case study on the development domain of emotional and social development.